Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo. I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2026 in the album, Dad. And the album, Dad. Shimmy, shimmy, and rock on, gold dust woman. Boost! How are you guys doing today? You know, yesterday I sang a little Carpenters for you. A little Carpenters Superstar. I honestly didn't think anybody would know that song. But what I found was that the average age of my audience is the age that would listen to the Carpenters, or that grew up with the Carpenters like me. What was so funny, okay, was that I got so many people that commented on my video, and they were like, did you know that Luther Vandross did a cover of this? I was like, did I know? Do you know who the world's biggest Stevie Nicks fan is? Yes, it's Peter Monn. But did you also know who the world's biggest Luther Vandross fan is? It's me! Oh my god, I love Luther so much. I was so sad when he passed away, and I love Luther so much. So yesterday, I sang a little Carpenters for you. My iTunes was bringing up all the sad songs yesterday. Okay, all the sad songs. So I sang a little Carpenters for you yesterday. A little... Long ago and not so far away, I fell in love with you before the second show. That's my little Karen Carpenter for you. But then people were like, but did you know? Did you know that Luther did a cover? Of course I knew. I love Luther Vandross. Did you know that Luther Vandross did a cover of Superstar? Of course I did. And so, but when people started mentioning that to me, I started listening to it on repeat. And so now this song has been stuck in my head. And I just want to say, I really, really appreciate that. As if my job wasn't already difficult enough, having to wash my face and pick out a hat for the day and a t-shirt and then come up with a song every day. As if my life wasn't already difficult as an influencer of the world, doing deep investigative research as a drama commentary channel. As if my life wasn't already difficult enough, then to have that song stuck in my head. Oh wait, while I'm also watching the world's most confusing TV show, Dark, because I'm now in the middle of the second season and I don't have any clue what is going on. But while I'm watching Dark, in the background to Dark, okay, which is dubbed, and I'm completely confused by what is going on, and they're skipping years, it's about time travel, and I'm so confused. In my head, the entire time, is Luther Vandross singing, long ago and not so far away, I fell in love with you before the second show. Your guitar. Anyway, so I've had that song stuck in my head for about the last 24 hours. So they say, okay, if you want to get a song unstuck out of your head, did you guys know this? That you should listen to the song all the way through. But I have to tell you, whenever I listen to a song all the way through, it just gets the song stuck in my head even more. So, yeah, so that song's been on repeat in my head, and actually just that line of the song has been stuck on repeat in my head over and over and over again. And it goes kind of back and forth. It's like if Karen Carpenter and Luther Vandross did a duet of the song. Because I kind of hear elements of Luther and I hear elements of Karen Carpenter when I'm like singing this song in my head. It's driving me crazy! It's driving me crazy! So anyway, I just got done with therapy. How's your day going? I just got done with therapy. And, it was funny because at the beginning we kind of like, you know, just like chat and like, how are you guys doing, or how are you doing, and blah, blah, blah. We have marriage counseling tonight. We have individual therapy today. We have marriage counseling tonight. And so today I was like just talking to him, and he's like, have you covered any of the Mr. Beast stuff? And I was like, no. And I was kind of explaining to him that like, the reason why I haven't really covered a lot of it is because I don't really know that much about it. And I don't want to give like a negligent response. So for everybody out there that keeps, I mean, I've gotten so many DMs of people being like, why aren't you covering the Mr. Beast stuff? Because I don't know that much stuff about the Mr. Beast stuff. I mean, now I might, because my therapist, who's apparently my source material, sent me several videos to watch, because he was like, it is a rabbit hole if you fall down. I go, how do you even know about Mr. Beast? And he's like, well, my daughter was watching all of his videos, and I said, his daughter's 8 years old, and I said, your daughter? And he's like, yeah. And I said, who does she watch? And he was like, naming a bunch of people. And then I said, does she like watch those toy people, like that Ryan's Toys? He's like, no, she's kind of outgrown all that kind of stuff. He's like, now she watches this, and she was watching Mr. Beast and all this kind of stuff. And I said, did she watch Logan and Jake Paul? He goes, no, she thinks they're idiots. I was like, well, she's right about that. But anyway, so he was telling me all this stuff because he's watched like all these videos. He said he fell down the rabbit hole. He's been watching. He's like, and this happened and this happened. I was like, oh, so he's like, yeah, I'm not letting my daughter watch Mr. Beast anymore because he's a complete liar and he's a fake. And I said, well, like, okay, so what about it? And he's like, well, just one example is, he's like, he gets all these kids to buy all of his stuff, and like, he was telling me about like the signing of the t-shirts and this candy bar, and he came up with this candy bar, and I learned more in 3 minutes of talking to my therapist about Mr. Beast than I knew before going into this video today. I mean, I didn't know anything about it. So he's like, yeah, you really should make a video about this, blah, blah, blah. I think people would be interested. And I said, so many people that know more about it are covering it than me, but that's why I haven't covered the Mr. Beast stuff, because I keep on getting DMs about that. I've gotten so many DMs. And the other thing that I've gotten a lot of DMs about, we're going to talk about this today, is about the fact that allegedly Robbie D. Christie's mother has been commenting on my videos, commenting in threads, commenting, her mother-in-law has commented on my videos, has commented on threads to do with Robbie D. Christie, and is allegedly reaching out to drama channels. This person has reached out to me as well, and so I want to kind of address that today in this video, because I've had a lot of people that have asked me, like, did you see that she left this comment? Like, what do you think about this? And blah, blah, blah. So I want to get to that in just a second, but I'm going to try to make this video a little bit shorter today because I'm going to try to go to the pool for like an hour or two. We're like getting to the end of summer, and so I've got it any day that's nice outside. I have got to go to the pool. And so we have marriage counseling today where we're going to discuss the last 16 years of our life, because our anniversary is next week. I know. So our anniversary of being together is a week from Sunday. We'll have been, on the 25th, we'll have been together 16 years, my husband and I, and we will have been married for 13 years, a week from Sunday. So today in marriage counseling, we're just going to kind of like do a, like, looking through the years and like what are the greatest moments and all this kind of stuff, and why do we continue to choose each other and things like that. It's interesting because I did a video yesterday on my Peterisms channel about codependency. Somebody asked me about, like, you know, codependency and like how I struggled with it and all this kind of stuff, you know? And then people still ask us, they're like, why do you guys still go to marriage counseling? Like, if it's good, you know? And I've explained this in so many videos. It's kind of surprising to me that I still get people that ask this, but, you know, the way I will compare it is when we went to go see Stevie Nicks in concert, Stevie Nicks brought out her vocal coach, and she had had her vocal coach since like 1994. And she said in her concert, she said, you know, before every concert that I go live, I always, like, if he's not with me on tour, then we like Zoom call, and like, you know, he tunes up my voice and he helps me be the best singer that I possibly can be, right? And that's really how Alex and I look at marriage counseling today. Like, when we first went to marriage counseling, it was because we were headed for divorce, and that was just a reality. But when we worked through all those issues and things started getting better, we decided to stay in marriage counseling because it just so helped our marriage. It's very much like vocal coaching. Like, you know, you hear like Mariah Carey has a vocal coach, and Stevie Nicks, like I just said, and a lot of really great singers have vocal coaches because they want to be the best singer that they can be. And the reason why we stay in marriage counseling, I think people always hear that and then they're like, oh my God, they're still in like troubled times. No, it's because we want to continue to have the best marriage that we can possibly have. I'm kind of surprised that that's so confusing to people. So anyway, but I'm kind of excited about that session today because we're both like supposed to have brought like the best moments of the last 16 years. And so I'm kind of excited to hear what my husband has to say, the best moments that he got to spend with me in his life. I mean, who wouldn't want to hear an hour of that, right? So anyway, and I have like all of my favorite moments that, like, I think some of them will kind of probably surprise my husband because they're moments that I don't think that he really significantly remembers that mean a lot to me through the years and stuff like that. But anyway, so I'm kind of excited about that session, honestly. But I want to get to the pool for maybe an hour today because we're like, we're coming up on the pool closing, and I haven't even got to the pool that much this summer. So speaking speaking of which, tomorrow it's supposed to be 85 and sunny all day long. So if that is the case, then tomorrow, okay, I will be at the pool all day long. I will probably just film my vlog tomorrow and take the day off from filming any other videos, because the pool's important, you know? It is important to take care of yourself and all that kind of stuff. So, I am very, very excited to have a day at the pool tomorrow. I told my neighbor on the corner, so we're all supposed to be up there at the pool tomorrow. It's supposed to be a real fun day at the pool, and I'll probably wake up tomorrow morning and it'll rain or something, because that's kind of been what this summer's been like. So I wanted to come on here today, and I was like gonna just like immediately get off therapy and go to the pool, and I was like, no, like I want to film a video because I'm not gonna film a video tomorrow and stuff like that. And I had a couple of different videos that I wanted to make. I actually put up on my Instagram. It'll probably still be up there when this video goes live. But I put up on my Instagram last night, I put a couple, Thumbelina the squirrel, I put up a picture of her. Oh, there she is. I love her so much. Thumbelina the squirrel, put 3 pictures of her. And then this clip that somebody put up of my video. And then I put something about the TV show Dark that I'm watching. And then I put up, let's do another opinions video. What do you want my opinion about? So if you guys, it is currently sitting at, only 9 hours. So it'll have a lot of hours left. If you want to respond to that, you can go over to my Instagram, and then that will probably be my video in the next couple days. But I had something that I wanted to talk about, and so I was thinking about how I wanted to do this video, and I was thinking about incorporating it with the DMs that I've gotten asking me about Robbie D. Christie's mother-in-law, and then it kind of like morphed into this conversation in my head of thinking about like my coverage of other people and things like that, and so, you know, I'm sure that some things that I will say in my videos today will probably contradict things I've said or done in the past. But this is where I stand today. So, you know, like my friend Tanya Jean says, your opinion can change in a moment. It can change from moment to moment. She says it all the time. She's like, my opinion changes from minute to minute. You know, my stance changes from minute to minute. So, but this is where my stance is today. And I want to make this very, very clear. And I know that you also saw the thumbnail that said, like, I'm sorry on it, and with all these people's faces, and did you think that you were going to come over here and see me apologizing to all of these people in the thumbnail? What am I apologizing for? I'm apologizing for their problematic behavior that I have an opinion on. No, I'm not going to apologize for that. No, this is me talking about people's problematic behavior and my kind of stance on it, right? So let's start with Robbie D. Christie for a second, because Robbie D. Christie is somebody that I have covered a lot lately. And I don't want to give, like, I don't want to go into 20 minutes of what it's about. So I'll just give a very short rendition of it. I think most people know what I'm talking about over here at this point. But there were allegations that came out around the beginning of June that Robbie D. Christie, this parade that her son was in, she was liking pictures of, that this t-shirt that he had on, and the t-shirts of the other people, and the signs that they were carrying, don't mess with our kids, aligned with a anti-LGBT organization. That then it was kind of found that it related to the school that she's supposedly building on her property. And then it came out that, is Christie anti-LGBT? Is she supporting this organization? I've made numerous videos about that. And that's not really what this video is about. So if you want to go back and watch those videos, you can go back and watch those videos. But as of, I think that came out like July 4th or 5th. Since then, a lot of people a lot of fans of Christie's have asked her to respond to this. I've been sent, probably at this time, I mean, and no exaggeration, probably 100 DMs from people, a few emails, where people are showing me screenshots of their comments that they're leaving, the comments that they left on her Instagram, that they're being blocked. She's not even deleting them, she's just blocking these people. And the comments are really, to be honest with you, they're very nice. They're comments like, Christie, I've loved you for a long time. Could you just come out and say whether or not you're part of this organization, you agree with this organization or not? And she's blocking anybody that's asking her this question. So this whole ideology of, like, she doesn't have to come out and speak about it. She doesn't have to block these people either. Like, if there's just nothing to it, like, and this is just who she is or what she believes, I'm not really sure why she would be blocking these people, you know what I mean? So, and people are like, well, there's no truth to it. Well, I mean, you know, it is what it is. So, but that's the one situation. But one of the things that happened as a result of this was that a lot of people started sending me, I feel like I want to make this video today to make my stance very clear. One of the things that happens, it seems like, it's interesting, I was thinking about this last night, you know, I don't know if I come across this way in videos or if it just comes across as very gossipy, I have no idea. But, I think through, like, all of this stuff, like the history of covering all this kind of stuff and the motives behind people and the super fandom and the defensiveness of these people, and all of that's very, very interesting to me, right? It's more interesting to me than actually the stories of the people, if you want to know the truth. And so I was thinking about this last night, that there was kind of like a turn in a lot of the defensive comments that I would get about anybody that I covered. And I was like, it was interesting because it's not just about Robbie D. Christie. It's not just about Rosanna Pansino. It's not just about Jeffree Star. It's not just about Trisha Paytas. It's not just about Toddy Westbrook. It's not just about Jaclyn Hill. It's about anybody that I cover over here. There's always a segment of the comments that I get that are very much like, they can do whatever they want to do. Just leave them alone. Don't talk about them, blah, blah, blah. And what's interesting about that is, I didn't used to get those comments. Now, I would get comments that people say, I don't agree with you on this. And I know people think that I delete those comments, but I don't. You can go back on any of my videos. Those comments are still up there. And so I would get people that had varied opinions about the situation, and they say, oh no, Toddy didn't do this, or yes, she did, or this is what I think, or whatever. But this, like, it's interesting, and I think it changed kind of around last summer when I started covering the Colleen Ballinger situation. And it was like this extremist defensiveness of these people. I mean, and I talk about this super fandom, and it's interesting because the people that take the most offense to that word are the ones that kind of fit the type the most. And they're the ones that will really excuse anything away. The other thing that's interesting is that, when I go in and I read a comment, like, I can see, like, all the comments that, and so can you, I think, can see the comments that those people have left previously on videos, right? On my videos. And so, or anybody's videos of anybody's channel that you go to, if you just hit their, you hit their profile picture, it'll show you, like, their past previous comments and things like that. What's interesting to me when I read some of these comments is, it's like somebody will come really, really hard and defend Robbie D. Christie, but then their last comment was, like, really defensive about Shane Dawson. And then the previous comment was, like, really, really defensive. So I'm like, is this, like, you just don't like me talking about anybody? Or is this that you have an issue with these specific people? It's like, I at first thought it was just about certain people, but it's interesting to me, right? Well, the opposite of that has also happened, and I started having people, and I think, like, this also goes into, several years ago when a lot of drama commentary channels started doing these, like, really, really deep dive investigations and looking into every aspect of people's lives. Now, as somebody that has been greatly doxxed, that has had my family and friends contacted, that has had personal information, even if it's able to be found publicly, but very personal information of mine put out there, information and names of the victims that were in the car accident, they put those out there as well. As somebody that's lived through that, I'm not somebody that plays that game. I just am not, right? And so people have sent me a lot of things, specifically about Robbie D. Christie, since this is all going on, right? People have sent me things about speculating about her parenting and, all kinds of things to do with her parenting and her marriage. And then I started getting these comments on my videos. It was like one comment on each video, and supposedly from Robbie D. Christie's mother-in-law, okay? Well, what was interesting about the comment was it didn't really speak to what I was talking about whatsoever, other than that this person, whether they're real or not, I have no idea, that this person would, like, leave this whole situation, like, say this whole situation about their relationship with Christie and her alleged son, if this is even that person. And then at the very end was kind of like, but I stand with you, Peter, and all LGBT people. That was really, like, the only part that addressed what I was talking about in my videos. My videos were not about Christie and her marriage, her parenting, things like that. I think people wanted to take it to that place sometimes and say that I was telling Christie how she should parent her child. I was not saying that at all. In fact, what I was talking about was LGBT rights. I don't know how that got confused. But then I saw that this person, because people were showing me that this person allegedly have left comments on other drama channels and they were sending it to me, right, on their videos. And then I got contacted by this person. I think it was on July 16th. And the email that they sent me was very similar to the comments. It was very much about personal issues to do with their family. And then at the end of it, and said, but I stand behind you, Peter, and your community, your LGBT community. It really didn't have anything to do with what I was talking about in my videos. Now, I want to make this clear, okay? And I don't know really how else to make this clear. And I can say this, and literally as I'm saying this, somebody will be typing, "You have such a hate boner for this person." And I've said in a video recently that when I'm making videos that are 55 minutes long and you're listening to none of the facts that I'm stating whatsoever in my videos, none of the statistical research, and you're just hearing it as, "I hate this person," then that to me is a very simple, ignorant response, okay? I think it really, when you just say, "You hate this person, you have a hate boner for this person," I think what it really shows is that you're rather unintelligent and you really have no other response. That's what I really believe, okay? My job has always been, since day one of starting over here doing drama on September 1st of 2016, my job, I have always seen, is bringing information to the consumer about influencers, okay? Typically problematic situations, because that's what drama commentary channels cover, right? And then allowing you, the consumer, to decide what you're going to do with that. I've said that through my videos with Raw Beauty Christie, about putting money in her pocket if you want to support this. If you don't want to, she hasn't come out and addressed it, so we have to kind of just go with what she's put out there, right? I have no more hate or dislike for Christie or any of these influencers that I really talk about than I do like watching Tamra Judge on The Real Housewives of Orange County, okay? Do I get passionate about talking about these people? Yeah, I get passionate sitting down in that chair with my husband watching The Real Housewives of Orange County, okay? When I see Tamra Judge being really cruel to somebody on the show. I take huge issue with that. I'm passionate about that, okay? I'm passionate about a lot of things. And I've said in my videos recently, do not confuse passion for anger or hatred. And I think that's a dangerous thing, right? And I think the other thing is that we live in a world today where people are so obsessed with the most amount of likes or the most amount of views on just a catchphrase kind of thing, and that means something. So we've stopped having conversations about things, right? Which is what I really attempted to do in this whole situation with Raw Beauty Christie, is I've really tried to have conversations with my audience about how I feel related to this as a gay man, as part of the LGBTQI plus community, and how I feel afraid at the world at large, if that makes sense, right? And I feel like I've done a pretty good job doing that. Like on my last video that I talked about it, and I cited statistics, of, LGBT hate crimes and things like that, and people that are murdered every year in our country, and trans women of color being at extremely high risk, and my experience of growing up and being bullied in the school systems and things like that. I've shared a lot of that on here, and I've done that because I kind of wanted to translate my experience. And when, Christie made this video, whether it was about drama channels or whether it wasn't, and I said in my video, I don't know that she's talking about me. I said that, and people were like, "She's not talking about you." I said I didn't know she was talking about me in videos. I think that's the other thing, is that people choose to hear what they want to hear, I think I give other people actually more fairness than some people grant me, if you want to know the truth. And I said that in my video. I said, you can go back and watch it and fact check it. I said, I don't know that she's talking about me. It doesn't really seem like she is. So anyway, I don't know who she's talking about in that video, but she's talking about negativity. And so I said, I'm not going to talk about negativity in this video. I'm going to present facts. And that's what I did. And that's what I've tried to do this sort of situation, right? But I want to make this very, very clear, and it doesn't really matter how many times I say this in a video, because to the people that have issues with me for talking about their favorite person, or I've disillusioned somehow by something I've said or something that I've done, I'm never going to change their opinion, and I'm very fully aware of that. Like me getting in a video and saying, I do not hate these people, they're not going to go, oh my God, he doesn't hate these people anymore. I'm not stupid, I understand that, right? But I want to explain this to you, and I want to explain this to you about why I go about things and why I choose to talk about some things and I choose not to talk about other things, okay? Is because I get sent a lot of things. I get sent a lot of personal information about a lot of the people that I covered. I get sent a lot of personal information about, like, Toddy Westbrook. A lot of people have sent me a lot of personal information about Toddy Westbrook. A lot of people have sent me, through the years, I cannot even tell you how much personal information people have sent me about Trisha Paytas, or how much information people have sent me about, like James Charles' parents and things like that. I have no desire to do a deep dive investigation on that, and I really think it's crossing a line, okay? So I want to explain this to you. I feel like my job as a drama commentary channel is to cover the problematic behavior of these people, highlight some of the good that they do from time to time, and then you guys as a consumer can pick and choose whether or not you decide to follow them. I've never gotten in a video and told somebody, don't follow this person. I've never done that in a video. I've never said you shouldn't follow this person. I've said you do what you want to do, you know? And my job is just to bring the information to you as a consumer. I have watched other channels where other channels will say, you're an idiot if you follow this person. Why do you follow this person? Blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And so that's one of the reasons why I think that's such a bad look. I think it actually takes away any integrity that you have whatsoever, and that's why I tried to steer clear of that, right? Or that's where my stance is today. But I want to make this very, very clear because I think that, okay, I have two issues with Christie, okay? These are my two issues with Christie. And you have to remember, and a lot of people commented on my video, and they said, I remember Peter shouting out Christie trying to get her to 1 million subscribers. I loved Christie. I was somebody that from afar, I didn't know her that well, but from afar, like, was rooting her on. I wanted her to get to 1 million subscribers. I loved her voice. I loved the stories that she told. I really believed that she was an advocate and an ally to the LGBT community. I really believed that. I thought that she, through a lot of her videos, through her unpopular opinions videos, through her discussion videos, through her get readies with me, I thought she offered a different point of view and a conversation that was important. I really believed that, right? When the James Charles situation happened, you know, that was at a period where I was calling out a lot of people that were following James Charles. I really, to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised. Like, it's so funny because somebody sent me this TikTok the other day, and it was like the TikTok had like 500,000 views on it. And they were talking about, they unfollowed Christie over the James Charles situation. And they were talking about that James Charles, like, she was following James Charles. Well, what's interesting about that is that, and then that like took me to another TikTok where somebody was talking about Robbie Christie and the James Charles situation. And then people send me YouTube videos where people are talking about Robbie Christie. I read threads where people are talking about, well, I unfollowed Christie after the James Charles situation. The Robbie Christie and the James Charles situation started with me. It was me calling Robbie Christie out about aligning herself with James Charles. I just happened to be looking through everybody that I followed, and I noticed that she was liking pictures on his Instagram, current pictures she was liking, and that she still followed him. And at that point, I was calling out many people. I believe I called out Loie Lane at the same time in the same video. Nobody really took an issue with the fact that I called out Loie Lane. I don't know if Loie Lane still follows his people or not because I don't follow Loie Lane anymore. I don't follow any influencers. And so, but I, you know, at that time, I said that about Robbie Christie. It was so interesting because I can remember doing that video, and I literally in that video, that very first video, I called out like 4 or 5 people, and Robbie Christie was the only one that anybody really paid attention to. And then from that kind of spiraled. And that was when Christie reached out to me and called me for suggestions and advice because she respected my opinion. We had a very nice conversation on the phone, I thought, until I got off later and found out that she lied to me. My issue with Christie, number one, was that she played ignorant about the situation with James Charles to me and to her audience, okay? That was the first issue. I mean, first of all, don't call me up and waste my time. I'm not 15 years old, okay? I'm 51 years old, and I'm a grown adult, and I've lived some life. If you're gonna call me, let's have a real conversation, okay? And if you wanna call me, the real conversation should have gone is, yeah, I really effed up. Like, I've been following James Charles for a while now. I mean, I've had influencers call me up and say, I have so screwed up, I don't know what to do. What should I do with this situation? I've had people call me and say that in the past and totally own on the phone their shit, right? I'm less likely to go after and talk about somebody if they're that willing to own their shit. She didn't do that on the phone. She lied to me. And then she turned around and she never addressed it. When at the end of the phone call, she said she was going to address it. She's like, yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. She goes, I don't want to performatively unfollow James Charles because then everybody will think I just did it because I just got called out by you. Well, that's exactly what she did. So it wasn't so much to me. I want to make this clear, okay? I had this illusion of who Christie was as this very real, authentic, genuine person. It wasn't so much about the fact that she was following James Charles or that she even liked his pictures. I think that's problematic, okay? But I don't even, to be honest with you, think that's as problematic as her lying, not to me, but to her audience and never addressing it when thousands of people were asking her to address it. She never addressed it, not once. Still to this day hasn't addressed it. And performatively unfollowed him. but never addressed it. And so at that point, and tried to rewrite history of she didn't know about this and she didn't know about that when she made videos about it. And I was like, well, if you're going to lie to me and you know I can do my research, then you have no problem lying to your audience. That was my issue. That was the moment that I truly saw who Robbie Christie was. But I still held out hope for her, okay? I still was like, well, maybe she'll come out and address this. Maybe she's trying to figure out the right time, whatever, right? And people were like, and then they turned it and they were like, oh, Peter's demanding this. No, I was hoping for her to address it. And this is the thing. If Christie had come out and she had addressed it, it would have only helped her. It would have only helped her career and her... The battery stopped. Well, I guess this isn't going to be a 20-minute video. It would have only helped her in that moment because people would have been like, oh, wow, this is Christie taking accountability for something. She's called out all these other people. And at that time, she had just gotten done calling out like the 8-passenger situation. She just got done calling out Colleen Ballinger. She had just got done calling out many people in the beauty industry. It would have been a moment for her to say, if I'm going to call these people out, then I need to do the same thing, blah, 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 over a serious situation, over a serious topic, right? And it would have been a moment for her. I think she would have really garnered a lot of trust from her audience instead of a lot of distrust, which is actually what happened. So flash forward in time, you know, time goes by. I mentioned her in a video here and there referring to the James Charles situation. And then what happens is, and I don't care that I'm the one that came out with it. I want to make that very, very clear. When I say that, what I'm saying is it's so interesting to me that now people refer to it as I unfollowed her over the James Charles situation. And what they're talking about is Peter Monn getting a very simple video calling out a few people that followed James Charles, not just Robbie Christie. And that is turned into this James Charles situation. That day, I had no clue when I made that video that it was going to turn into this thing. I had no idea, right? And I told Christie that on the phone. I said I would have still made the video. I said, but I had no idea, you know, that it was going to turn into this. And then, you know, people at the time were like, well, did you reach out to Christie and ask her why she still followed James Charles? Why do I owe her that? I just want to, that's an interesting question to me. My job is a drama commentary channel. You know, my job is not to call and morality check these people. I'm already accused of that already, is that people think that I'm the moral high ground, which I've never claimed to be. I fuck up all the time. I'm not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm trying to grow and change and be a better person. I want that for everybody. I want that for myself, most of all. Okay? And so I don't for any second think that I'm the moral high ground. I probably fucked up more than the majority of people out there, right? So I don't think that whatsoever. That's another excuse that people use to take away my voice, is what they do, right? And so, you know, the reason why I bring that up is because it was such this small thing that turned into a larger thing. Well, the reason that it turned into a larger thing was because Christie never addressed it to her audience, you know? She doesn't owe me an answer, but I do think that she owes her audience an answer that has paid all of her bills for her and has helped her through these years, you know? About major issues. I'm not talking about every issue. I'm talking about major issues. So then this situation happens with this July 4th, right? And I'm like, here's another situation. And yet again, my initial reaction was, I really did think at first, I was like, she's going to come out and address this. Like, this is too big. She's going to come out and address this. And she didn't, and she hasn't. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but I do think that it is, I think it speaks to the fandom of Robbie Christie that for so long, somebody that lied to my face on the phone, like she lied to me on the phone, you know, and like, I mean, this person that I trusted her word in videos and believed what she had to say, she literally said she had no clue about the James Charles situation to find out she had spoken about it in video. She blatantly lied to me about it, right? And I don't even care that she lied to me. I just think that her lying to me is, and I know when people are like, you don't care that she lied to me. I mean, I don't want my time wasted out of lies. We could have just skipped the phone call, okay? That's how I feel about it if you wanted the truth. But what was interesting to me was that I was somebody that believed in her. I trusted her. I shouted her out. I really wanted her to have success. And so then to be lied to about something so significant really kind of felt like, well, if you're going to lie to me, who won't you lie to? So then this other situation happened. I think that my holding on to believing that Christie was going to do the right thing or was going to come out and speak about James Charles or come out and speak about this school situation with, you know, this anti-LGBT organization and whatever, me holding on to hope that she was going to come out and speak in it, giving her the benefit of the doubt, was really, I think, the basis of where her super fandom comes from, because to some degree, I was holding out hope, I think, like many other people were, if that makes sense. I don't have hope for that anymore. I think if she comes out and addresses it, it will be in a very weepy, I'm the victim, feel sorry for me kind of way. That's what I think will happen. That's what I've seen her do with things in the past, and I have looked into Christie enough by now, right? But I want to make this clear. Those are really my two issues with Robbie D. Christie, okay? Have I noticed that she's done some things like not disclose appropriately? Yes, but typically she does disclose appropriately. Have I noticed some other things that she's done? And, like, you know, people have sent me things about, she's so negative about this. I'm not making 100 Robbie D. Christie videos because my intent is to take down Robbie D. Christie, and I want to make this very, very clear, because this is the confusion, I think, about my channel. I don't get up and think today, like, and I think this is the misconception maybe of drama channels in general, and I can't speak to what other people's motives are. I can only speak to what my motive is. My motive is to make a video about something that I'm interested in because I'm confused about the motive or the behavior, to bring attention to the consumer and allow you to decide what you're going to do with it, okay? Trust me, if my goal was to take down somebody, or if I had issues with this, because it doesn't really matter who I talk about, right? Like right now I'm talking about Robbie D. Christie, and people are like, well, you have a hate boner for her, you're wanting to take her down, you know? And then it's like, I mean, I looked the other day, somebody was like, I do not know why you have such a hate boner for Rosanna Pansino. I literally looked, in 8 years, I have made 6 videos about Rosanna Pansino, okay? That I've included her name in the tags of the videos. I made 3 videos specifically about Rosanna Pansino, and 2 that were specific about the situation recently, okay? So in a year, I've made 3 Rosanna Pansino videos, and I have a hate boner about her. Who can I talk about? Can somebody please let me know? If I make one Jeffree Star video, I haven't made a Trisha Paytas video. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I made a Trisha Paytas video. If I made a Trisha Paytas video tomorrow, there would be people saying, oh my God, man, you either excuse her away or you have a hate boner for her. It wouldn't really matter. And I haven't made a video on her in months, you know? So for me, I just want to come out and explain this, because this whole mentality, whenever I see those comments, and I want to make it very clear to my audience, when you see those comments of somebody saying, you're trying to take this person down, you have a hate boner for it, those are ignorant statements, okay? Those are, I have nothing else to combat this statement with, so I'm going to go for this low-hanging fruit of you hate this person. I don't hate anybody, okay? I'm not somebody, as a 29-and-a-half-year sober person that is actively involved in a 12-step program where I try to work through issues in my life, and I'm also in therapy. I'm not somebody that wants to live with hate in my heart, and definitely not for somebody that I will never meet, okay? I can trust me on that. I have enough people in my personal life, growing up as a child and onward, that have fucked me over enough in my life that if I wanted to have true hatred in my heart, I could have it for them, okay? I could even have true hatred in my heart for my biggest bully when I was growing up, that asked me for forgiveness, that I sat down across from and granted him forgiveness, interacted with him for years, thought we were good friends, that I just recently saw on Facebook that he said that gay men were mentally ill and we deserve to be institutionalized, okay? I don't even have hatred for him. I don't. I have empathy for him, because it makes me sad that he would look at the world that way. So when people want to dumb it down and say that I hate Robbie D. Christie, I don't. But I want to make this very, very clear. If my intent was to take down Robbie D. Christie, so many people have sent me so much stuff that I can make video after video after video after video. I have kept it on the specific topic of what I have an issue with, and that's very intentional, because that's the issue that I have with Christie. I have an issue with the James Charles backing situation and her not addressing it, and I have an issue with the whole situation of her being aligned allegedly with this anti-LGBT organization. But really what I have an issue with is her not feeling that she owes it to her audience to even come out and respond to it in any way whatsoever. Christie is a very smart woman. Christie is somebody that has had very smart takes on things through the years, right? She's also somebody that's given a lot of advice to other people on how they should have handled situations. I don't think it's out of the realm to ask that Robbie D. Christie address for her audience. And when people want to say she doesn't owe that to them, well, you know, I don't know. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. I don't know what she owes her audience. But if I was an audience member of somebody and I took issue with this, and they have been asked time and time again to address it. I mean, it's been a year since the James Charles situation. She's never once alluded to it. She's made little digs here and there, right? But I want to make this very, very clear. Those are the two things that I have issues with Robbie D. Christie. I'm not making a Robbie D. Christie video, and do not send it to me because I don't need it, okay? And I don't know if this person is her mother-in-law. I don't know if this person's a fake person acting like their mother-in-law, but I don't want to talk to somebody's family member. I think that's crossing a line, okay? I would not talk to that person. I didn't respond to the email. I will not respond to the comments. I think I may have even deleted one of the comments or two of them off my video because I didn't want them to get any attention. There might be one up there. Okay? I have no intention of talking to anybody in Robbie D's Christie's family to find out. I don't know what those family dynamics look like. When people reach out to family and stuff like that, you don't know what those family dynamics look like. You don't know the reasons why people have issues with their family or why you have no idea what that's about. I'm not doing that to Christie. I don't have that kind of hatred in my heart for Christie or anybody that I would do that, okay? I think there's people that are 100 times that are more problematic and probably not good human beings than Robbie D. Christie out there, and I sure shit wouldn't do it to them either, okay? So I don't understand this wanting to send me things about how she parents or her relationship or her, I think that's so sick to speculate about her marriage and things like that. Her marriage seems completely fine to me. They seem very happy to me. Why anybody wants to speculate about this stuff? You know, and I want to make this very, very clear because this is something that happened back in the day, and this happened in divided drama channels, is that we would be talking about a certain situation, and then people would start bringing up all this kind of stuff because they really were like, if I just bring up this, it's going to get a lot of views. If I put in a video title, Robbie Christie's mother-in-law reached out to me, it would get a ton of views, okay? I know that. That's where the differentiation between, are you doing it for views or are you doing it because you really care about the issue? The reason why I'm keeping it specifically about this anti-LGBT organization, her backing it, is because I really care about whether or not Christie backs that or not. I want to know. I want to know. It matters to me because I'm somebody that really liked Christie. And I'm sorry that that's confusing to people and people think that I have a hate boner for her. But as somebody that really, really liked Christie, it's disillusioning to me that she would align herself with something that is so oppositional to who I am in my life. I really liked Christie. Christie was somebody that I looked up to. Christie was somebody that I liked to watch her videos. They brought me joy. They brought me peace. But I have no intention of trying to invade her life or take her life down. I think it's disgusting when people do that. And, you know, people will say, well, you've crossed the line with this and crossed the line with that. I really check myself. There's a lot of things that I have been sent. I cannot even begin to tell you the things that I am sent on a daily basis about people's personal lives that I never mention, I never talk about, I never hint at. I never will, okay? They don't have to reach out and ask me not to talk about it in a video because I think it's tacky. I never would. I don't think Christie's marriage has any bearing on the situation. I don't think her relationship with her mother, her mother-in-law, or anybody has any bearing on this. The only reason I've talked about her sister is because her sister is supposedly moving on her property and she's part of the school situation. I've only talked about her sister because she is part of the situation that she's talking about. You know? That's the only reason I've talked about her. I haven't looked into her sister. I haven't looked into the background of her sister. I'm not going to do that. Like that, this is where it's like, it's too much, right? And this started several years ago with, you know, drama commentary channels doing these deep dive investigations, you know, into somebody's life and all this kind of stuff and looking into that. I feel like that's really crossing a line. That's just my personal opinion. But I feel like it's really crossing a line. And what it also does, and this is what I was going to say was several years ago, is when all that was going on, what it really did was it really watered down the issue. And I can, you know, remember talking to several drama channels, and I can remember one of them talking to Sam here for the tea, and we would talk about this a lot, that like if you were talking about one situation, and then there'd be 10 videos made that had nothing to do with that, about the same person just to hype it up, it's like you're taking attention away from the main issue. The main issue to me with Robbie D. Christie is not even so much about the James Charles situation, if you want to know the truth, it's about the fact that she never addressed it with her audience. The situation with her aligning herself with the anti-LGBT organization makes me sad. It's really more about her not addressing it with her audience. That's my issue, okay? What she does or how she handles her family affairs, that's her business. How she raises her child, that's her business. Her marriage, that's her business. That's not my video to make, you know? And I think it takes it away from what the story at hand is. I think it's tacky, I think it's classless, and I think it takes it away from that. And I will not be addressing those things, and please stop sending them to me. Okay, I don't want to know about, I don't even want to allude to it, okay, of things that people send me about, like, her parenting her child and things that she alludes to in her videos and stuff. I don't think that has any bearing. That goes into the realm, when I see those things, I'm like, man, you really do hate this person because you're picking them apart about everything. You know, when you pick somebody apart about everything, that really does show true hatred towards that person. Then you really can't trust what that person is saying about anything, because what you're showing is they really will come at you for anything, so they really do hate you. If they're willing to say anything about this to that, to your wrinkles, to your hair, to your relationship, to your marriage, I mean, they're literally looking for anything to hate you for. That is a hate boner, okay? My issues are specific with these people. You know, I was looking through here last night, I was thinking about people that I've covered in the past. Like Shane Dawson is somebody that I've covered in the past, you know? And I think it's interesting because when I've given suggestions just based on personal experience or what I've seen out there as an observer, you know, I said for years, I thought Shane Dawson should come out and do this video series, 3-part video series, turn the camera on himself and be like, this is when I started on YouTube, and this is what humor was in comedy was on YouTube, and in retrospect, no, it's not funny, but that was what was happening at the time, because that's the truth. Right? Whether people want to admit it or not, that's the truth. Whether it was okay then or now, it's not, whatever, that's the truth. Shane Dawson wasn't the only person that was doing that humor. Is it okay? No. Does it excuse it? No. But explain that. Explain that process of how he came up with that humor. What he thought was funny about it. What he's learned about it. What he's learned, you know, about cultural diversity and why those things are not funny today. How he's learned to have an edit button, if he does have an edit button, because I don't see it sometimes, you know? How his relationship with Ryland has changed, all that. What he's learned by his supposed cancellation on YouTube, and where he's at today in his life. That video series would be phenomenal, and I can tell you it would have earned back a lot of Shane Dawson fans, right? But I have a hate boner for giving him suggestions like that. Now, I actually think I gave him some really, really helpful advice, you know? When I talked about James Charles coming out, if James Charles came out with a video tomorrow and said, I've been in therapy for the last 5 years, these are the things I've learned about my inappropriate conversations with minors, and what I didn't know in the past, and what I know now, and what I've learned about myself, and boundaries, and why it's important for me to have boundaries, and what a healthy relationship looks like for me in my life today. And I wanted to come out and do this video because I really wanted you guys to know what growth I've made, and I've really been working on myself, and whether you believe that or not, that's totally fine, but I wanted to share that with you because you guys were there from the very beginning of what was going on with me and how problematic it was, and it was horribly problematic, and I overstepped boundaries, and I did these things I never should have done, and I wanted to explain it to you. Instead of coming out in magazine articles talking about how he's still a doorman in his own DMs to people that are under the age of 18, are you telling me that that video wouldn't have garnered him more success, and he wouldn't have to buy subscribers and viewers to make it look a way that it isn't? You know, when Trisha Paytas came out last year, and her podcast is doing very, very well, but every time she has a success, people still come out with more and more stuff from her past, you know? I said at the time of the Colleen Ballinger situation because a lot of people were looking at Trisha Paytas because she had called out Colleen Ballinger, rightfully so, you know? And she was a victim of Colleen Ballinger. You know, she is a victim of Colleen Ballinger coming out and talking about that. And I said, if Trisha came out with a video and she addressed all these issues from her past, and she said, let me talk about this and this and this, and let's just put it all together, and I want to apologize to the people that I hurt, it would have been a moment in time for Trisha Paytas to move on. There are some people that will never forget what she did, but there are a lot of people that would have been like, I've been waiting for this for years for Trisha Paytas. You know? With Colleen Ballinger, if Colleen Ballinger would have ever come out and just sat down and had an authentic video, which I don't think she's capable of doing, and said to Adam McIntyre, you know, to Becky, to Oliver, to all these people that have felt unsafe, and I created unsafe spaces for, or I overstepped boundaries, and I said inappropriate things for. She was never going to prison for this anyway. She was never even going to get sued for it. And for her to say, I really apologize, and I've been in therapy, and not be lying about that. And I owe you and I owe your families a public and a private apology. I don't ever want anybody to feel that way. Instead of coming out as an almost 40-year-old woman, okay, and playing a ukulele, it would have probably helped her career, and she wouldn't be getting 30,000 views. She could have even revamped her entire tour and made people and said, like, safety is number one for me. I don't ever want anybody like Becky to feel unsafe again. She could have consulted with Becky and said, what could I have done differently at your show, my show, because I don't ever want anybody to feel that way again, and I'm so sorry I disappointed you. What could I do for further shows to safeguard people's safety? You know? Can you even imagine if she had done that? If she had publicly apologized to Adam McIntyre and he stopped talking about it? He's not really talking about it anymore because he said he doesn't really want to. But if he stopped talking about it a year ago, or, you know, 9 months ago, and she had publicly apologized about this, people would have moved on a lot quicker, and it would have saved the career of Colleen Ballinger. And not because she was doing it performatively, But because she was doing it because it was true to who she was. And she was really seeking therapy and she was really looking at these things. Now what do we have is we have a 40-year-old woman that's never taken accountability for her actions and throws her kids up in every single video as a family vlogging channel. I mean, it's scary, okay? And so when I come in and I talk about these things, and people think I have a hate boner for these people because I'm talking about them. Maybe I'm snarky, maybe I'm shady a little bit. That's just kind of my personality. But indirectly, the advice that I'm giving is very, very helpful. There's a lot of things about these people that I know that I've been sent by fans, ex-fans, things like that. That shit's been done to me. I'm not doing it to somebody else, okay? It's important for me to keep my focus on what my issue is. I'm not going into 50 other things, all right? And I don't have to. Because I think for me, it takes away from the issue at hand. I think for me to talk about this and talk about that and talk about this. And for all those people that think that I hate Robbie Christie or I think that I hate Toddy Westbrook, I would never go in and talk about this. I would never speculate about their marriage, okay? Or, you know, health issues or mental health issues with them. Or I would never speculate about how they raised their child or family situations. You know, somebody sent this to me and I thought, you don't know about their family dynamics with this person. First of all, I don't even know if this person's real. I don't even know if this is like a made up person. I don't know if it's real. I can't believe that some threads are even allowing it to be posted over there, in all honesty. I think it's a total breach. And I think there's some things that are just off limits, and I think it's crossing a line. And when I've seen that, and I'm just like, what does this have anything, what does her relationship with her mother-in-law, good, bad, or indifferent, have anything to do, like, with her stance on this whole situation? Because I can tell you, when I've read the comment and I've read the email, it has nothing to do with that. So why are people even talking about it? It has no bearing on the situation whatsoever. Not to mention, we don't know people's family dynamics at all. You know, unless they choose to share that on video. We don't know people's family dynamics. So I think it's crossing a line, but I wanted to address that today. I wanted to come on here and talk about it. And I know that I'm not going to change anybody's mind. People that think I hate these people, they're going to continue to think I hate these people, and that's okay. When you leave the comment, what you're saying to me is that it's ignorant. You have nothing else to say, so that's just you hate this person. That's all you can come up with. And that's fine. I get that, right? But to the people that really are listening and have listened to this whole video, I just want to say, I wanted to explain to you that every video that I make, whether it's funny and whatever, or whether it's a very serious video, I do think about what I'm putting out there. I do think about what I'm talking about. And sometimes I get it wrong, and sometimes I get it right. And that's just being a human being, you know? And like my friend Tanya Jean says, my opinion can change at a moment's notice. I want growth for all of these people. I think that's one of the other things, is that I think that people think that drama channels want, that we want to, and we want our audience to hate these people forever. I've said this in many videos, and people don't want to believe this for some reason, that if I woke up tomorrow and there was not another thing for me to talk about on this channel, I would be grateful for that. That people had grown so much, that I had grown so much, that other people had grown so much, you know? It's like at the time that Shane Dawson, you know, that he and Rylan had their twins, it's like all these people were sending me all this stuff about that. I'm like, I'm not covering this. There's children that are involved in this situation. You know what I mean? That like over your opinion. I'm not talking about something factual, okay? I'm talking about your opinion about something. And that, I don't know. It's just like, I want to believe that Shane Dawson can change. I want to believe that Trisha Paytas can change. I want to believe that Toddy Westbrook can be a better person than she already is. And I don't really think that Toddy Westbrook's that bad of a person, you know? And I still in my heart of hearts really don't believe that Christie's that bad of a person. I want to believe that she's a better person than she's seeming to come off right now, you know? I want that for everybody. Because I think that when people grow and change, they only enjoy their life more. And the more good they feel inside, the more good they put out there in the world. And don't we want that for everybody? I do, you know? So anyway, I just wanted to come on a video today and explain that. So anyway, I love you guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.